This video is for educational purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Please consult a healthcare professional for personalized. Number 1. Fermented foods. Let me ask you something. Are you someone who enjoys the tangy goodness of fermented and pickled foods? The reason I ask is, if you're dealing with this particular bacteria, being a fan of these zesty foods could be a real advantage. You see, these amazing foods are brimming with beneficial microorganisms that can create a really hostile environment for Helicobacter pylori. They essentially move in and compete for resources, making it tough for our unwanted guests to thrive. Take kefir, for instance. Scientific evidence suggests that consuming just 2 servings a day, around 250 milliliters each, for 2 weeks, can significantly boost the chances of eradicating. That means completely getting rid of Helicobacter pylori from your body. Number 2, honey. Stop doing processed honey, do raw honey instead. It can be a great help when you're dealing with an H.Pylori infection. But for an extra boost, consider Manuka honey. Scientific research has highlighted its exceptional ability to combat this persistent bacteria. It seems to be able to hinder its growth right from the start. Now, if you don't have Manuka honey readily available, don't worry. All types of honey possess antibacterial properties. The key is to choose honey from a reliable beekeeper rather than those mass-produced supermarket varieties that often contain added sugars and fillers. Those diluted honeys will likely have a lower concentration of beneficial compounds. You might also consider a combination of black seed, also known as Nigella sativa, and honey, as some studies have shown it can be effective against H. pylori. Number 3. Ginger. Now let's talk about roots. Due to its rich content of bioactive substances, ginger root has traditionally been used to soothe various digestive issues, including indigestion, stomach ulcers, motion sickness, and inflammation. It appears that ginger extract can also shield the stomach lining from damage caused by stress and reduce the production of stomach acid, thus limiting the growth of those pathogens we're discussing today. Number 4. Ginseng. Now let's talk about roots. This remarkable herb holds a hidden strength that can support your body from within in its battle against this unwanted bacteria. Some research suggests that when ginseng is used alongside conventional treatment, it can speed up the process of eliminating Helicobacter pylori from the body in as little as 10 weeks. It seems to work by making it more difficult for these bacteria to attach to the stomach lining. Number 5. Broccoli sprouts. Next up, let's talk about a vibrant green friend, or rather what it grows into. I'm referring to broccoli and specifically its sprouts. These tiny greens are incredibly powerful when it comes to hindering Helicobacter pylori infection. And it's not just hearsay. Science backs this up. Picture this: in individuals with confirmed H. pylori, eating just 70 grams of broccoli sprouts per day for 8 weeks led to a noticeable reduction in the amount of bacteria present. Now, you might be wondering, what makes these unassuming little seeds so effective against Helicobacter pylori? The secret lies in a compound called sulforaphane. It's something that H. pylori really dislikes. Think of it as their natural enemy. Number 6. Cruciferous vegetables. And while we're on the subject of sulforaphane, the plant world offers a whole family of vegetables that contain similar beneficial substances. I'm talking about the wonderful cruciferous vegetables. You know, the ones like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, turnips and radishes. These veggies are packed with compounds that act in a way that's similar to sulforaphane. And here's a vital piece of information. Remember that in some instances, Helicobacter pylori can sadly contribute to the development of stomach cancer. Well, guess what? Consuming cruciferous vegetables can actually help protect against this risk. So, if you have this bacteria, making these plants a regular part of your diet is a smart way to support your well-being. Number 7. Garlic. Speaking of the power of nature's remedies, let's explore the active compounds found in garlic. Why can eating garlic during an infection be a helpful way to address this problem? The reason is straightforward. Garlic contains various substances that can harm this bacteria, and one of them is allicin. Number 8. Cranberries. Moving along, let's talk about another natural helper in tackling infections caused by Helicobacter pylori cranberries. Similar to the ginseng we discussed earlier, cranberries reduce the ability of the bacteria to stick to the stomach walls. This is key because it significantly lowers, and I mean significantly, the chances of this particular strain colonizing your stomach. Scientific data suggests that cranberry juice, when consumed for 3 weeks at a dose of 200 milliliters twice a day for 3 weeks, slowed down the rate at which Helicobacter pylori multiplied. Furthermore, when combined with traditional antibiotics and acid-reducing medications, eating cranberries improved the rate of complete removal of this bacteria from the stomach. Now, today's video wouldn't be complete without addressing some of the most common questions you might have, the ones I often see in the comments. So, let's consider what signs might make you suspect you have this bacteria in your stomach. The primary indicator is often a sharp burning pain, frequently one that intensifies when your stomach is empty. However, also be aware of bloating and unexpected weight loss. You should also consult a doctor promptly if you experience persistent abdominal pain, bloody or black, tarry stools, or bloody or black vomit that resembles coffee grounds. I'm sure some of you are also curious about how this bacteria actually spreads. That's a very valid question, especially since you can minimize your risk significantly. Firstly, you can contract it from another person, for example, by sharing drinks or through kissing. Also, neglecting hygiene, such as not washing your hands regularly or consuming water or food that hasn't been properly prepared, can lead to infection. I also imagine that a key question for many of you is how to actually find out if you have this bacteria. Well, there are various tests available, and many of them are non-invasive. For instance, a blood test can detect antibodies your body produces in response to the bacteria. Unfortunately, these tests only indicate past exposure, not necessarily an active infection. In such cases, doctors often recommend a stool test or a urea breath test. Another option involves taking a sample of the stomach lining during a gastroscopy, although that's a more involved procedure. Finally, I want to discuss the potential consequences of ignoring a Helicobacter pylori infection, and they can be quite serious. This bacteria damages the lining of your stomach and small intestine. This, in turn, allows stomach acid to harm the structures of your digestive system, leading to, firstly, the development of chronic inflammation, and secondly, to the formation of stomach ulcers. In the most severe cases, this bacteria contributes to the development of stomach cancer, malt lymphoma, reflux disease, and iron deficiency anemia. So, as you can see, it's definitely worth exploring every avenue to get rid of this bacteria from your body. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I encourage you to join me for the next episode. Until then, take good care and stay healthy.